So today I'm going to show you guys how to turn a cardboard tube into Plo Koon's lightsaber. The materials list is in the description box below, so check that out and let's get started. So start by getting yourself a cardboard tube, and you just want to cut it off to be 11 inches long. And then you want to paint the whole thing with some metallic black paint. Then take a piece of silver adhesive foil and stick a piece of craft foam on the sticky side, about 1/2 inch wide. Cut off the excess silver foil so that it's flush with the sides of the craft foam. And then you're just going to glue that around the end of the tube. You can leave a little bit of silver foil on the end to stick to itself as well. Do the same thing with a larger piece of silver covered foam, leaving a little gap in between the two. Then take just a piece of silver foil with no foam and wrap that below that other piece of foam. Wrap it right around the tube tightly, and this will give it different heights on the tube. Wrap another piece of just foil around that, leaving a gap so the black shows through. Next, cut yourself some very thin strips of black craft foam and cover them in silver foil. Leave a little tail on the end so that they can stick to themselves. You're going to put one of those right at the base of that piece of silver foil, and then you'll end up putting 7 more, so that you end up with a total of 8 there. Then take a piece of just foil and wrap that below the last one of those little foam covered pieces. And then you'll take another foam covered in silver foil and stick that right at the base of that piece of silver foil. Then cut a half circle out of some cardstock. You want it to be bigger than the base of your tube. Cover it in silver foil and then wrap it around your tube, and that will angle the edges. Mark off where the two edges meet. They'll overlap a bit, so mark off where they meet. And then you'll just take it off, put it back to where the mark is, and put a little bit of silver foil on it to hold it in place at that mark. Cut off any excess foil, and you'll have a nice little piece with angled edges. You want to make 2 of those. Then cover the insides with silver foil and set them aside for a minute. Take a piece of just foil and wrap that around the tube. This piece is about 2 inches in length. And then you're going to take a little bit of glue and put that around the piece of foam. Slide on one of those angled pieces with the wider side down. You're going to slide it until it gets right to that glue that you just put in, so you get that cool little shape there. And then take the other piece, and you're going to slide that one on the opposite direction, so it'll be small end first, and slide that down quite a ways onto the silver. And then you're going to take one final piece of foam covered in silver foil. This should be big enough to finish covering the rest of the tube. Stick that on, and then slide that angled piece back up so it sits right at the base of that piece of foam you just put on. Just like that. And then make yourself a larger angled piece the exact same way you made the other two, and then a flat piece with a hole in the middle big enough to fit around the tube. You're just going to glue that onto the wide end of the angled piece, and then you're going to slide that small end down onto the end of the tube, and then cover the end of the tube in a piece of foil. This should stick on, but you can also glue it on if you need to, and cut off the excess, so that you have a nice silver covered end. And then take a plastic red and black bead, and you'll just glue on the red one toward one end and the black end toward the flat end there. And then take some more thin strips of silver covered craft foam and stick the ends of those around the open end of the saber, so you get your little claw marks here. And then take a piece of cardstock, fold it into a circle, and cover it with silver foil. Cover the inside with some glue and slide that over the end of all those little pieces sticking out there. You can hold it in place with a paint bottle like I did while it's drying, and then once it's dry you should end up with this, which is kind of a fun feature. Then take some more very thin strips of silver covered craft foam, and you'll wind 7 of those around the end. And then take another flat red bead and a tiny little piece of black craft foam. Glue the craft foam horizontally in place and the bead a little ways below that. And then I took one little black bead and put that on the end for the emitter. And so then here is my finished Plo Koon Lightsaber. It's kind of a fun one because it's really fast and easy to make, but still has kind of a cool look to it. And quick shout out to Ryan. Thank you for the Venmo tip. Greatly appreciated.